You go, boy.
I don't care about the top 10, the top 5, or who the best is. Money straight, my fam straight. I'm George straight, that's Texas. Angel wings on a Lambo. Praise the Lord, that's a blessing. Bentley truck like Lex Luger. Yeah, nigga, I'm flexing. I'm Richard Sherman, I back it up. Aunt your mama, I stack it up. Hey, Poppy, yo, Gotti. Swear to God, I rack it up. Still Jersey, that's all day.
You go, boy.
Yo. Hey world, this is the debut inaugural episode. Where's my camera? I got 3 cameras. Where's my camera? Oh,
look
in
at
4K.
that. Wow.
In 4K. I'll get to our illustrious guest shortly, but eyes on me. I'm your boy, U-Goboy. I'm so thankful and so grateful that you guys are going to come on this amazing journey with me. If you love Joe Rogan, you love Joe Budden, you love Adam 22, No Jumper, Fresh and Fit, whatever. If you love talk show podcasts where people talk to the best of the best, this is the place. This is the home. You guys know me from music. You guys know, like, I've been doing a hip hop thing since 2000 and God knows the 2010, 2011, 12, who knows. But I also do the podcasting thing. And shout out to my brothers at the base, Ed Boy, DK, Fab. You know, we actually shot an episode here a couple weeks back, but this is my solo venture. This is the U-Goboy Podcast, live from Bravery Studios.
This is a certified hood classic.
And quick bio, and then I'm gonna shut the hell up and get to our guest. I have a background in music, went to Penn State University. My parents are from Nigeria, grew up here in Jersey, and I fell in love with music and comedy and so forth and so on. But podcasting is where my real passion has been birthed for so long. You guys have been following on. Shout out to all my subscribers over at the U-Goboy YouTube channel, all my followers on Instagram, so forth and so on. My last 2 videos, Jonah the Great, over 100,000K views. My last Juice vs. Sauce, over 100,000K on YouTube.
So humble.
So humble brag, like brag. But we also do podcasting on this channel. We do podcasting episodes. This is the first of a billion or a million, who knows. But make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the first of many, and I'm gonna shut the hell up because you're gonna learn about me pretty much in every episode. But it is all about our guest today, and on tonight's episode, the inaugural debut episode of the U-Goboy Podcast from Bravery Studios, we have a producer, a podcast host, a retired professional wrestler, as well as a current in-ring announcer. He's got 10 years in the biz. Co-founder of Chop Sports Media, as well as a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan. Yeah. You know I'm gonna bring America's team in this mug one way or another. Yeah. We got the one and only Dave the Sturchio is in the building!
What's going on, man? Thank you so much for having me, bro. I appreciate you, bro. This is a nice little setup here, Bravery Studios. I dig it.
We got Marv on the board today, too. Shout out to Steve on the boards, man. I know he couldn't make it tonight, man. Heart goes out to you, buddy. You'll be here for the next episode. Thank you. But Dave the Sturchio. Chop City. I call you Chop City on here.
Chop City? All right.
Chop City, Chop Style, like the rapper.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
No, thank you for having me. It was a little bit of a venture getting up here, but
Jersey traffic, right?
Oh, bro. I texted you on the way up here. I was like, well, it's the summer. You would figure people are going south to the shore, but it felt like everybody and their mothers were going north. So I'm like, come on, man. And nobody knows how to drive in Jersey, so that's where we're at. So, yeah.
I had to get a Jersey guy on here for the first episode.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a fellow Jersey guy, I got a fellow Cowboy fan, a fellow wrestling nut, a fellow comic book and sports nut. So I see myself in you, the bearded, more bearded version.
Oh yeah, no, the luxurious beard this is the moneymaker. So this is that's how I write the checks around here, bro.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get into everything that is you, man. So you do Chop Sports Media. You're the co-founder. Let's talk about it. How did it start? Where did it begin?
I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting right out of college. Right, so I went to. Just went to community college. I don't have this Penn State lineage that you got. Shout out to Micah Parsons.
We are.
Yeah. So I went to community college first. Got my associates in sports journalism. I wanted to be a sports writer. That was my passion. Right. I love to write about sports. Love sports. Grew up watching it. And then I segued into the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. They hooked me up with an internship after completion. Now, remember, I'm a big Cowboys fan, as everybody knows. Well, if you don't know me, that's pretty much how I'm built and wired. But the funny part was they give you this big binder of internships to apply for. So I saw the Jets, and I was like, well, I'm Jersey. I don't hate the Jets. I got some Jet fan friends. This might be fun, right?
Jets.
Right. So I'm like, this would be good. So I applied to the Jets, and I got a call about 3 weeks later, and the guy goes, hey, this is Steve Venditti with the New York Giants. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Like,
That's a difference.
I applied for the Jets. Like, what is it? He's like, hey, we're looking for production interns for the New York Giants and this and that, and Joe Scacciaferro and Ferro Productions. And I was like, yeah, bring me in for an interview. Let's go. I want to work in the NFL. This is where I want to be. So I did it. I interviewed there. And don't get it twisted. I went there to Giant Stadium with a massive Dallas Cowboy decal in the back of my truck.
Of course.
So it's like right off the rip. If they don't hire me, I know why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get that job,
Nice.
and it was incredible. Like it was. Unfortunately, it was the 2007 season they actually won the Super Bowl. But I did get to see Romo and Owens and everybody come in and torch them.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
torched them
watched that
year.
on Fox. I remember that game.
We torched them that year, so I'm all for it.
Nice.
So sports media and broadcasting has always been in my repertoire as far as what I want to do.
Nice.
Then all of a sudden, right out of school and internship, what do you do as an adult? You got to get a job. It's like, what's that? We got bills now? That sucks.
Yeah.
So now, what's that? I want a new car. So all of a sudden the bills start piling up, and here I am. I'm like, I got to get a job. So I did what every American would do, and I applied for a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car because they give you the tools to be your own boss. So I did that, and it was horrific.
I love it.
First thing they tell you to do is shave your beard and no facial hair. I was like, wait, pause.
This is the Yankees?
Right, that's what I said. What are we doing here? So I worked there for a couple years, and then lo and behold, I'm a big wrestling guy, as you know.
Yes, sir.
I
Don't worry.
I go to indie, one of these indie shows in Rahway. Come to find out they're opening up a school. And I'm like, I love my broadcasting. But I do have a best friend who passed away in 2007 named John, and our goal as kids were to become WWE Tag Team Champions, no matter what it took.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? We got a school here. I feel like I'm in decent shape. Boy, did I find out that I wasn't once I started training professional wrestling. That's a whole nother beast. Wrestling comes and goes, but then in 2014, I have like this little bit of a cosmic shift. I tear my ACL in the ring. Oof. So then I'm thinking to myself, all right, what the hell am I going to do during recovery? Obviously, you go to do the rehab and stuff like that. So it's all fun and games, but I still need something. So Pat Buck, the owner of WrestlePro now, formerly PWS, said, you want to be on the announce team? And I said, well, I mean, Pat, I got this background, and I've been wanting to do this forever.
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and I got on the commentary team at first, and then lo and behold, once upon a time, like I got into the ring announcing because I wanted to fill in for somebody for one match. Mm-hmm. Turns out I was pretty goddamn good at it. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, I start doing that too. But lo and behold, the whole time I'm sitting there like, sports is my thing, and this isn't fulfilling that thing.
Right.
And I'm not knocking pro wrestling by any stretch because that's what I love too. You can have multiple loves, So all of a sudden, 2000 and I guess it was 18, 19 comes around. Wrestling is kind of on the back burner because I'm already retired. I'm doing commentary. I get that itch, man. I get a job with the Cowboys Wire. Early 2020, I believe, and that's writing for USA Today and the Dallas Cowboys.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, I'm in. Let me get back to my writing, Let me get back to what I went to school for.
Absolutely.
And then I had this aspiration. I said, you know what, man? I want to do more. I mean, I got a podcast already. I'm doing the writing. I want a media company. I want to do something. So I started my own by myself.
Nice.
And it lasted about 2 months because, boy, anybody who's in this business, guys that are behind the glass now, guys that are, work for us and work for me, the interns.
Oh, yeah.
This job is intense.
It's a grind.
There's not one guy in the world that could do this by himself.
Oh, absolutely not.
So I was like,
absolutely not.
I got a call from one of my favorite comedians, Brett Ernst, who he's been in Cobra Kai, you know what I mean? He's in all these shows. He's got a stand-up special coming out actually June 10th. Plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug for
Netflix?
him.
Netflix?
YouTube. He actually sold it to YouTube instead of Netflix. So I guess he got the better,
wherever the check
better
comes.
payday, I guess. But anyway, so he hits me up, and I had a podcast called the Stellar Sports Media Podcast, which Stella is my daughter's name, so that's why I wanted the Stellar. So
Girl dad.
No, yeah. And now my boy's 7 months, so it's like, she's great.
Nice.
This all is happening way too fast. So then I realized, over time, I'm like, man, I can't do this whole media thing. I thought I could, but now all of a sudden this guy Brett Ernst wants to jump on a podcast to talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, of course I can do that. So Stellar Sports Media went away, and I started doing another Cowboys podcast entitled the Jersey Boys Podcast.
Yeah.
3 guys from Jersey, his brother Keith. We started doing the Jersey Boys Podcast about the Dallas Cowboys with a New Jersey spin on it.
Yeah,
We're always in
sure.
enemy territory,
For sure,
blah,
for
blah, blah.
sure, for sure.
Very niche down. It was fun.
Nice.
Last year, obviously the pandemic happens. Everybody's like, what are we going to do now? You know what I mean? And we're all sitting at home, right? We're all getting Donnie dollars, so we're all kind of cashing in. Everybody's making some kind of money all of a sudden.
I got my Donnie dollars.
Right, so everybody got everybody got this money, and I got the kids at home, and so I'm paying for all their expense. Yeah. I'm not doing much for myself, and lo and behold, I'm trying to promote the Jersey Boys podcast. My old friend I've known since my Big Shots bouncer days back in 2010. That was one of my million jobs that I had after Enterprise and after I was just trying to make money. I was a bouncer, right? So
you worked the door.
I was the door, and I was separating mother effers out there. I was like, hey, come here, you come here,
Hey, you ain't getting
walking the waitresses, walking
the
bartenders to their car at the end of the night because nobody was going to mess with them. You know what I'm saying? If I did it.
Nice.
So lo and behold, I met a guy named by the name of Chris Gooch, right?
That's the guy.
So I met him in 2010 or 11. And he had hit me up on one of my Jersey Boys podcast posts, and he said, hey, if you ever want extra traction, you can post your podcast in my Facebook group entitled Chop Sports. I was like, what the hell's Chop Sports? You know what I mean? I had no idea. So I went in there, and when I went into this Facebook group, now everybody knows what a Facebook group is, and they know what it entails. It's just a bunch of guys talking shit. It could be girls, whatever. Could we curse on this? I don't even know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're explicit here.
Okay. It's the Jersey. I mean, I just can't. There you go. So he goes, put it in Chop Sports. And I said, okay. And I got into Chop Sports. Now, remember, everything's still shut down. There's no bars. There's nothing.
Oh, yeah. COVID times.
Yeah. So I walk into the first, I walk in. I enter virtually on my phone, just like any other Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it was like walking into a virtual sports bar. Like, there was conversations, debates, MJ LeBron, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Just post after post after post. I said, damn. I was like, you got something going on over here. It's pretty cool.
For sure.
So then, after a couple of weeks of just kind of moseying around Chop Sports, the Facebook group, I said to Chris, we should do a podcast at the very least. Do a podcast together and talk evergreen sports, like all sports, put it all together.
Yeah. So
we started doing that, and then within 3 weeks, I had somebody hit me up saying, hey, how can I advertise on your podcast? And I was like, So then I went to Gooch, and I'm like, you know what? There might be a business here, and I'm not really sure what the hell we're going to do, but there's money all of a sudden involved. And I was like, well, how can we do this? Then my buddy Jason, who's renting space down in Mattawan at a studio, well, not even a studio, just an office building.
Yeah.
He rents out a studio or space, and he's like, you guys should do your podcast out of here. And I was like, well, why should I do that? I got the home set up, I'm good. But once I got out there and I got to see the space, I was like, yeah, if you want to split this 4 ways, we could do it. It was about the room this size, which again, I'm sure the producers here and the owners here at Bravery started in one room, and they got to another room, and they got to another room, right? That's exactly what happened.
Marv is nodding behind off camera. You guys
right. So that's what happened. All of a sudden, we got bigger and bigger and more endorsements, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, a guy I worked for, Sean Basinger, said, I also want to buy in. And I was like, buy in? But there's nothing to buy in. He's like, no. Dave, I know how driven you are. Everything you've ever touched, it's been, you go.
That's
you
how
go,
it goes.
go.
Build it and they will come.
And he came in as a 10% investor in Chop Sports.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, there we are. Chop Sports Media, a year and a half later, we're still rocking and rolling. We now run the entire suite, where we're at one point, we're in a room like this. Now we're worried about what kind of couches we want out in the hallway. You've been there.
I've been to Chop Enterprises.
And you know what?
It's lovely.
You know what?
It's lovely.
I can't remember when you were there. It had to be in the winter, I want to assume.
It was during season.
During football season. Yeah. It's changed 15 times since then. Because Gooch has this tick where it's like, if something might look better in a different spot,
he just gets to it.
He's done it. And there's been times I've gone to Disney World with my family. I've gone to Dallas for week 2.
Nice.
There's times I've went away, I come back, I don't recognize the place. I'm like, what the fuck did you do?
We'll do crossover episodes. I can't wait to go down there.
It's always good though. It's always productive. It's always, he's got a mind for this and an eye for this. This is gonna, and it's so funny. Me and him are a yin and yang. We are definitely a checks and balances thing.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
at first,
you need that.
Yeah, at first I look at somebody and say, I'm like, what are we doing here? And he's like, hear me out. And then he'll do it, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, you'll see what I'm saying? And I'm like, Yeah, I do. You know, like all of a sudden, so
That makes sense.
yeah, exactly. So the partnership between me and Gooch is very good. He's very good with the hands-on stuff, the set design stuff, the graphics, the overlays, all the technical shit. And here I am with my marketing background and the voice, and you know, and this is no offense to you or anybody else, but I don't think anybody could touch me on the mic. I don't think that if I start going, you can't stop me unless you have like a red thing, you know, one of these warning things like go home. Other than that, I'm gonna just go.
Listen, the point of this show is to feature the guests. I can get up here and just
we can talk shit,
like talk about myself until the cows come home.
And I have plenty of podcasts to do that. You know what I mean? This is another outlet. You know?
Exactly.
But that's where we're at, man. Chop Sports is rocking and rolling. We have, you know, last year in July when the college kids all of a sudden got ruling where they can actually make money.
Oh, the
NIL agreement.
stuff?
We dove right
baby.
into that.
Oh,
we said, you know what?
That's smart.
Hold on. We have our own online store where we're doing our own merchandise anyway. Why don't we design merchandise for these college athletes? They can make stuff and make money. Done. You know, all of a sudden we went from two guys. We had Mike Tverdoff, defensive end of Rutgers, right? And then we had John Poznansky, one of the best wrestlers in the country at Rutgers. All of a sudden we got hit up by like an agent who's like about to represent all these guys going into the NFL draft. He's like, can you help these guys out? I'm like, yeah, send them my way. It was just me and Gooch. So I'm just like, yeah, this will be fine. It's like 25 dudes. They're like, hey, help me out. I'm like, holy shit, we're in over our heads.
Nice.
But we find a way to make things work. And here we are. You know, we're a business. I'm proud to say there's no debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are in the green. We're doing fine.
That's
you know,
key.
and that's key at this point. But now, like, we're dialing it up. We just had a big meeting today, me and Gooch, and I had a meeting with our investor last night. We're gonna dial things up, level up a little bit because you have to. Because if you stay stagnant, you can get complacent, and then all of a sudden your business will be under before you know.
No, for sure. Like, and you know, I tell this. We mentioned this on the Base podcast, my other one that I do with my buddies from Penn State. So many content creators, whether in podcasting, whether it's in music, whether it's in cooking, whatever, they don't understand the marketing side of it.
There's a lot. It's constant.
It is constant. Aside from staying fresh and just keeping fresh content or whatnot, and being consistent. That's what I was thinking for or whatnot. You have to have a marketing side. I got a guy in India. He's got a whole agency. He does the marketing for my music.
I was just gonna say,
So
I don't know
game
how
changer.
you do what you do because I see a lot of your posts and it's just like. That's a lot, you know. That's a lot of posts, and that's why I listen to your music and everything like that, and it's because I see it on social media all the freaking time. But that's what you got to do, man.
You got to stay consistent.
Like, you have to be the most annoying person on this face of the earth. And lo and behold, before you know it, people will latch onto you. All of a sudden, you're a face, and you're a company within communities. You know what I'm saying? Like Woodbridge, Colonia, like Central Jersey right now, we plan on having on lock,
course,
you know, and then move south, move north, move west.
Absolutely.
We got people watching our show from Alaska, California, Seattle. Like, we're all over the place all of a sudden.
I got fans in Russia.
Yeah.
Like right now,
dude,
of the U-Goboy.
I got a guy hit me up yesterday, like, hey, man, hey, mate, I'm from the UK. And I'm just like, who the fuck? I'm like, all right,
Christian
let's go.
Bale?
Right, him too. Right? And I was like, okay. He's like, I listen to this. What team should I root for in baseball? Want to get into baseball, love? And I was like, I love the Yankees. I don't know. Like, you want to know what team's the best? The Yankees. But yeah, so it's been a whirlwind, man, and it was a long journey to get here.
I mean, that's
and when I tell you it's only the beginning, it really is. Because if you think about it, without getting too deep, like I'm 36, right?
Yeah, I'm 34.
So if I lived till just say 65, let's just say dead at 65, that means I'm only halfway home.
Yeah.
I got the rest of to go. You know, so I'm gonna keep going and going and going until the ticker stops. Like, I just, you know, sometimes I feel like it's gonna prematurely.
No,
but
don't put that out.
No,
there,
I'm just
bro.
saying, like, I'm just always going. I try to go to the gym in the morning, get there, get my workout in, get back to the office, start my office job, blah, 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 get home, the 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, boy. And then I finally, like, put on, like, a TV show, and by that time, I'm like, all right, I can't wait to... and I'm done. Just tapped out.
Well, you signed on to not only be a part of this world, but to be an innovator and a creator in this space.
Yeah.
So that's what comes with it.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what comes with it. So like,
and I embrace that kind of stuff.
And that's beautiful. That's the beautiful. That's the beauty of it. I mean, when I got into music, right out of college, I got signed like immediately. Like I was just that good, and I was able to network or whatnot. And I realized while I was signed that for the first time in my life, I wasn't hitting the ground running being that bulldog that I was in college. Because at Penn State, I built a whole network. You know what I mean? I was opening for MC Light, Stolly from Maybach Music Group and Afro Man and
the Afro Man?
The Afro Man.
No shit.
I still got his number.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I kicked it with him backstage. He's hilarious.
Listen to that.
He's drinking a Colt 45 the whole time. But and
amongst other things, I'm sure.
Amongst other things, herbal things.
Yes.
And
shout out to you, Gooch.
So I realized really quickly while I was signed that I was out of my element. I was leaving my future in the hands of others instead of taking the reins and just doing what I do best, and that's networking. My whole time at Penn State, bro, I built a production team. I had local media. I had a fan base. I was doing house parties and I was treating that like that was my Madison Square Garden, and the places were packed. So you would think when you get signed, oh yeah, that's the next step. No. You start all over again. You know what I mean? And with politics, you're not in control of decisions or whatnot unless you're an independent.
Correct.
So when I got off the label and got back on my grind, that's when I run into you. That's when I start building the brand. And I mentioned it, we're at, my last 2 videos combined are at 250,000.
So a quarter of a million people are watching you do your thing.
On my own, and that's without awesome. A record label. That's without a record label. That's
and you know what?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we based our business on. We pride ourselves in being outside the box. Like our daily show that we have Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock, right? We go live every single day to talk sports. But we pride ourselves on not being the first takes. Yes. We pride ourselves on not being the Skip and Shannons.
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because boy, oh boy, like they literally, like if I had, like they gave them a script.
Yo, yeah.
All right, how do I piss off the masses today? We don't do that. We talk. We're authentic. We present the facts. Like we do put our own spin on it. Everybody and their mother knows I'm a Cowboys fan, but I will be a realistic guy and tell you when they suck. You know what I mean? Like you saw my tweet, I'm sure not too long yesterday about the cap situation.
Absolutely. I said I was right there with you,
dude. I'm like, all right. I was like, how the fuck are the Rams spending all this money? Like Stephen Jones is sitting there like, we're right there at the cap. It's perfect. We're right there, and I'm just like, no. How do we spend $200 million like the Rams and win a Super Bowl? We can't do it because they don't care.
That's how we actually became friends, because I saw one of your tweets. We met on Twitter for our viewers who don't know. One thing that I am happy that Twitter has gotten better at is the algorithm. Is basically, if you're a fan of a team, they put you in a community with people talking about the team, tweeting about the team, sharing actual data outside of the big 4-letter networks, the ESPNs and the Foxes and the CBSs of the world. So I saw you on there on your soapbox defending the team and giving facts and being unapologetic, and you just kept coming up in my feed, bro. You just kept coming up in my feed.
The only way I can get, there was a couple tweets that went like a little ape shit, and like I was unapologetic about him until it got to the point where I was getting like death threats and stuff towards my DMs, and I was like, bro, it's Jalen Smith. He sucks. He sucks at football. He's not a good linebacker, and that's unfortunate because he was the best linebacker in the country at one point.
He was.
And then he just obviously gets hurt, lost a step, no pun, but like he just became a bad football player. So if I'm going to sit there, I made a highlight video of him missing tackles. And people were like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy. You call yourself a fan? I said, I am a fan. But I'm a fan of a team that wants to win, not with this guy.
You're an objective fan. You're a realistic fan. There's a difference.
People used to call me, I had people in my community and my circles of friends call me delusional. Like, I'm not Mr. This is our year. I'm not that. I might make a shirt. I might make a shirt that says that with a star underneath. This is our year.
Yeah.
Because everybody says it every year. But I'm not that guy, man. Because it's just like, what do I want out of life going forward? I want one more Super Bowl to embrace with my brother and my dad so we get a big group hug. That's all I want.
Facts.
That's all I want.
Facts.
A long group hug.
Facts.
One more. I was 10 in 95. All right? I don't get to embrace that as much as I remember crying. I remember crying when Bill Cowher called for the onside kick.
You thought we were gonna blow it.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm 10. I'm like, Dad, they're gonna lose.
Ugly cry.
Yeah, I was like, what's gonna happen? I can't believe this. And he's like, calm the fuck down. Sit down. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. And that was, so I just want one more. That's it.
I still got
it's
that.
Not hard to ask.
I still got that one on VHS.
So do I.
And the goal is to go on Instagram Live or whatever and be like, hey, listen, I can put this on DVD now.
Time to burn it. Time to just kind of kick it to the side and be all right.
Marv, can we get some pictures of Dave the Destruction? I want to.
What are you doing?
Dive back into the wrestling real quick.
Oh my God!
Absolutely, we got a lot to cover. We still got a bunch of time. Let's hit this one first.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! So
look at that jacked mother right there.
So a lot of people don't know about the intricacies. We can nerd out to wrestling. That's the other reason why I brought you out.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of people, and again, I've been a fan my whole life, and I even wanted to be like a young Sting, or Bret Hart's my guy growing up.
Oh, see, I'm a Sean guy.
Oh, God.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the end of that.
Right,
that's the end of that conversation.
See you guys
Later.
next week. So yeah, no, I met Bret at
Bret. Did you yell for him? Bret.
I didn't have to. I was in line.
Okay.
At WrestleCom, and but a lot of people don't understand the intricacies of, like you mentioned it earlier, you got to go to a wrestling school. You have to learn how to fall. You have to learn how to run. You have to learn how to take a punch.
Listen, I wish it was as fake as everybody says it is. You know, I would have had a ACL that never went away.
Right,
you know, like
right.
I got hurt in the ring. The unfortunate part was that it happened at practice in front of all my students, fellow students.
So it wasn't in a match.
Wasn't even in a match. So I couldn't even get the hero's clap on his way out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, oh yeah, I'll be okay, everybody. I'll be back. You know, but it was at practice, and I, took a headlock takeover, like just the most basic thing in the world. And there I was, gone for 6, 7, 10 months, right? Wow. But pro wrestling to me was, when I started it, I remember taking that first bump, and I was like, fuck was that? You know, like, where's the sprint? Why can't I pop right back up? You know, you've done, everybody, any wrestling person has done a backyard wrestling with trampolines, right?
Or bedroom wrestling with your brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't think my brother's beaten me once. You know what I mean? And it was by design. Because I'm sure right now he could probably take me out. But I looked at pro wrestling, getting into that as a challenge, as something I wanted to fulfill, because, again, my best friend John, we grew up loving this, and I told his family, I said, it's funny, this belt is here.
Of course.
This is the belt that his family gave to me when he passed.
Oh,
when he passed, he's like, this is John's title. This is John's Ric Flair belt. It actually said Ric Flair on it, and I was like, thanks. That belt is still hung at my house. You know what I mean? Like, I will forever have it. But I knew that I wanted to fulfill something else, not just as a fanboy from the other side of the rail. I wanted to see what it was like, right? Started the training in June. Coming up on literally in a day, I'll be a 10-year person in wrestling.
Nice.
Started in June of 2012. 12 other guys. That's it. There was 11 other guys other than me. So under Pat Buck, Pro Wrestling Syndicate Dojo, right? That's where I started. I took my first bumps over there, and there was times where I was like, not for me. I'm done. I can't. This is too much. Like, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm getting cracked ribs within the first 3 weeks. Nobody was beating me up or being reckless. It was me not being able to fall right. And all these people out there thinking, these guys taking bumps every night, like, oh, that looked weird, because it probably was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it probably screwed somebody up. You saw what happened to Big E. You saw what happened to these guys that land awkwardly. That's part of the business. It is, yes, scripted, and everybody knows what's going to happen, but you got to get there safely.
And that trust in your
opponent. There's plenty of guys that I worked with over my time. And look, I don't have this laundry list of matches, but like the guys that I worked with over time were all great. All safe. Nobody ever, I got kicked in the face once, but I wasn't protecting myself.
Right.
It's simple. Put your hand up. I didn't. I was like, well, I'll take it. Just boom, kick my lights out. But like outside of that, taking the bumps, it got frustrating. I didn't know how to do it right. Jay Lethal was somebody who came up to me.
Nice. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Yeah, he's a Jersey guy. He was at the school one night.
He's in AEW right now.
Yes.
Nice.
I must have been maybe 2 months in, and I still wasn't bumping right. And I was like, I can't get this shit, So when I'm bumping, I'm also getting up and I'm slamming the mat. I'm like, God damn it, I can't get this. He pulled me aside. He said, so besides yourself, who's frustrated with the fact that you can't take a bump right now? I was like, I don't know. He goes, is Pat frustrated? My trainer. I said, no. He goes, am I frustrated? I'm the guest trainer. I said, I don't know. Are you? He goes, no. He goes, if the people that matter aren't frustrated, you cannot be frustrated with yourself this early.
Great advice.
And I was like,
great advice. Shout out to Jay Lethal.
Lethal's the man.
Shout out to Jay Lethal.
And lo and behold, one of my favorite matches I've ever called now is him and Kevin Matthews just recently, a couple months back. Nice. Lethal was an integral part. Sammy Callahan, guys that I met very early were Sammy Callahan put us in our place right away. My first match was a battle royal with 24 other guys. I won the damn thing, right?
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, it was great. Nice. First match ever. A lot of these guys that come into pro wrestling, and they're not as spoiled as what we were. Like, when you're, your first match, it's probably in front of 8 people, right? My first match was in front of 1,300 at the Rollaway Rec Center at a battle royal where people were chanting my name. And I was like, how is this my first fucking match? Like, no way. And I won the damn thing, right? Now, lo and behold, what are you supposed to do as a professional? You win your match, you go to the back, you shake the hands of the boys, and you call it a day. What did I do? Won my match, shook the hands of the boys, went out into the hallway, hugged my whole family. And he goes, "You, get over here." And I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Get the fuck back in there. What are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be this destruction, and you're out here kissing babies, high fives. Get out. Like, get back to the locker room, bro. Like, who are you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay," you know, and I never did it again. And then I met constant people in my first couple months who gave me like great advice, funny advice. I was in line, I was in Gorilla, you know, about to go out to do a 6-man tag match, and I run into Paul Bearer. God rest his soul. He was there doing he was managing, I forget who was managing. He was managing Vader that night. So God rest his soul too. This is terrible to say.
Just go.
Too many people.
Man. This guy just met everybody.
Yeah, but too many people are passing away. So
yes, God rest your soul. God rest his soul for sure.
He goes, "You're nervous?" Like Paul Bear to me, I was like, "Yeah, Mr. You know, I'm pretty nervous."
Mr. Bearer?
Yeah,
Mr.
Mr.
Bearer.
I didn't even know what I called him. I might have even called him his old name or whatever it was. I don't remember what I called him, but I might. You know what? Screw that. I said sir. I did say sir. I was like, "Yes, sir. I'm very nervous." He goes, "Good. It doesn't get any easier after this." And I was like, "What?" And my music plays, and I'm like, "All right, here we go." You know. So there's so many people that I've constantly met, and I don't name drop, but like I've worked with a lot of cool dudes. My claim to fame for a little while was my match against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I wrestled him in Belleville, New Jersey, where I was born.
2x4?
Oh yeah, he chased me around the ring with it, and I was like, "Do I run out of the ring? What do I do?" That was great, but it's so funny when you work these legends. Like he had a bum right shoulder that night.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes, "I'm going to throw everything left," and I'm like, "What?" So I got to like change my whole game plan because I'm used to taking anything offensive on the left side, but now I got to shift my whole game. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. So here I am bumping and feeding for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I lose to a clothesline. That's it. Clothesline. 1, 2, 3. Game over. I'm just like,
halfway.
Yeah. I was like, dude. But again, when that music hit.
It's game time.
When my music hit, I came out, I was ready to go. His music hits, like, "Oh," and the camera deadlocked on me, and I smiled so big, such a cheesy, like, I'm about to be in the ring with this fucking guy, man. This is so
nuts.
cool.
That's nuts.
But
you're a fan at heart.
I
I
always will be.
I had the same vibe. I met CM Punk at Eternal Com at Nassau Coliseum. I met Sting at Comic-Con. I met Bret Hart, like I mentioned earlier. I met Ric Flair. When you meet guys that you like,
I met Flair. Yeah, he's
like,
great.
Come on, man. You meet these guys and you just it's impossible. Current wrestlers even they'll say the same thing. They turn back to high school or younger than when they meet their idols.
Listen, I try to be as professional as I can, even in a setting like this, because now that I'm still doing commentary for WrestlePro, and we're bringing in massive names month after month. It's easy for me to say hello, right? But then like you bring in a Flair, and it's like, oh my God, like, it's Ric Flair, man, Mr. Woo himself. You know what I mean? But I've met a lot of cool people. I've interviewed guys like Booker T. Like that was fun. Yeah. I called him my newest homie in the interview, and he looked at me. He's like, "You didn't say that. Tell me." And I was like,
did not just
and I was
say
sitting there
that.
with the mic like, "Oh shit," But it's I'll send it to you. It's actually a funny clip.
Oh, I gotta see that.
It's younger.
Put that in post.
2014 young Dave Destruction. But it was fun, man. Wrestling has delivered everything that I wanted it to. I got out of it for about. The pandemic shut it down completely, but right before the pandemic, I was kind of checked out a little bit. I was like, you know what? I was hearing a lot of things surrounding the world of professional wrestling, and without getting into too much detail, there was a lot of dirty people in the business, and I was just like, you know what, man? I got a kid now at the time, and I was just one kid. I was like, I can't be around this shit right now, you know? So I kind of did the whole like, nobody will see me. And I'll just back out into the sunset. No big fucking speech or anything like that or post like, "I'm out of here retiring." I was just like, you know what? I'll come back eventually, but just right now, I don't want to do it. Right. Then the pandemic happens. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right. Then the WrestlePro comes back, wrestling, and they're doing crowds again. And I got the itch right away. And I was like, fuck.
Now
I was like, I gotta get back.
You've brought out some big names, man. I'm talking like Cody Rhodes.
That was great.
Killer Cross.
That was just last month.
I love that guy.
Killer Cross. I'll tell you what, man. His style is like real cool right now. He's doing like a MMA bruiser type. Like I'll just kick your teeth down your throat.
Yeah, like Joker theme and
it's a very cool thing. And Scarlett is one of the greatest people I've ever met. Yes. So super kind. Every time I meet her. Nice. So them as a package, as a unit is like fucking.
I heard
money.
They're coming to AEW. I heard AEW.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not in Tony guy. Pat Buck is now at AEW. So my trainer is there as a producer, and I literally, I don't know where it's going to go, but my demo tape is with Tony Schiavone right now. So can you imagine if all of a sudden it's like, by the way,
I would love
Dane's
that.
going to sign with AEW. I don't foresee it happening because I love what I do.
But you never know. You put it out in the universe.
Yeah, what am I going to do? What's the worst that can happen? They say no?
No is the worst thing. That's why I always tell people.
The reason why Chop Sports exists is because I've been told no.
Exactly.
A million times.
That's the reason why.
I was tired of saying no, so I said yes to myself.
That is the reason why you're sitting at the U-Goboy podcast, because a number of people told me no for my logo. Not even for a space, for the logo.
What's wrong with the logo?
I don't have time, I can't do it. Or my intro video, or this, that, and the third, or space to record
you just listen. You just have to
stick with it. Speaking of AEW, when MJF cut that promo a few weeks back,
I know MJF. Max is my guy.
Can I get some MJF, please? How do you know? No, how do you know him? I don't know.
He's a product of the school I went to.
Same school.
So Creative Pro happened after PWS shut down. Creative Pro branched off into two schools: Creative Pro New Jersey, Creative Pro New York.
Nice.
So this is a funny story.
Okay.
I'm in Creative Pro New Jersey, obviously, right? And they're brewing stars left and right. They brewed. They created Tommy Wansaw, who is Bear Boulder of Bear Country.
Nice.
Creative Pro New York created Bear Bronson, so they kind of met there. I was working at Sirius NFL Radio in 2014.
Was this after the internship?
Yeah. Okay. So after the ACL, so I was in wrestling already.
Yeah, you were in it.
Dave LaGreca is a friend of mine. He's one of my teachers. He hosts Busted Open every day. You know what I'm saying? So he's a friend of mine.
Nice.
He gets me the job in there. And I'm working I'm doing like board work, the bitch made work, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that entry level, like that's what you got to do. You're working on boards and working everything. And I had this guy who was my supervisor. He's younger than me, and he's my boss. And he found out that I was wrestling under Creative Pro New York, right, or New Jersey, and he's like, "Man, I would love to do that." And I was like, "Well, yeah, just if you want to do it, there's a school in New York you should go." That person is Max Caster of the Acclaimed. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So and we got Bowens.
Nice.
Bowens is from Creative Pro New Jersey. So all these guys are coming from these areas. So when I met Max, I'll tell you right now, MJF was living the gimmick immediately, right? So there was a time where I was very jealous of him. I was like, this guy, even Bowens, guys that came in where I'm like, they're going to be bigger than I ever even dreamed of being.
Sure, because
they got
the they got the.
So of course I'm being a jealous jerk off. We go down. I think it was WrestleCon 2017.
Nice.
He's still doing. It's Orlando.
Okay.
He's still doing Creative Pro New York stuff, and he's being booked on this, that, and the third. He's starting to make his name, brand new, and I was just like smug. I was like, no, I can't be bothered by this guy. He's a jerk off. And he is. He'll tell you.
That's his shtick.
I watched a video the other day of him like just getting in the face of a guy in a wheelchair. I'm like, what are you doing? But he's something else.
Shout out to MJF.
But he went out to Alaska with us. We're WrestlePro.
So he went with you guys.
Yeah, he was on that tour. He did a three-way match between him, Janela, and Pat Buck.
Nice.
And it was phenomenal. I got to spend some time with him, and I'm like, man, this kid is awesome. He's a good dude, right? But then this thing happens the other night. And I'm looking at the camera, and he's looking at the camera, and I'm just like, it's hard for me to say it's a work, because boy, like he is airing some shit that he needs to get off his chest, and maybe Tony Khan gave him that go. Like, all right, look, I know you're pissed. Here's one segment. Have at it. After that, we'll talk. Say whatever you want.
Yep.
And then we'll go. Like, there's nothing's off limits.
That's what happened with the Punk thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Like,
I think was better.
I think too. I agree.
Listen, I used to like CM Punk.
I still
You
do.
blocked me on Twitter, homie. So CM Punk blocked me on Twitter. The reason why he blocked me on Twitter, truth be told, he lost his first UFC event against my friend Mickey Gall.
You know Mickey Gall.
I know Mickey.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know Mickey through Rich Petishnock, who's another MMA fighter, right? So I knew Mickey through that, and I got a potential interview with him at the time, and I'm like, so all I said was, congratulations to @Mickey Gall on your big win over, and I didn't @CM Punk. He must have been on one of those like, I'm gonna search for my name, and anybody who says anything negative, I'm gonna block. And he blocked me that night, and that was it. The rest is history. So if you're out there, Phil, you just unblock me, and we'll be cool. That's cool. I might even be I might be announcing you one day. Don't you want to be nice to a guy like me? No, I like him. Dude, his shtick is great. What happened to him obviously recently with the injury and stuff after winning the title, that stinks.
Shout out to Punk.
I hate injuries, man. The injury, obviously been there, done that. So it's like, I hate injuries. I hate when that derails a program.
Yeah, for
if he's
sure.
if he's on a burner all of a sudden, then all of a sudden that gets derailed. So I like CM Punk. I like his shtick. The fact that he blocked me, I felt that was like a badge of honor. Like, oh, he saw my shit, huh?
Sure.
Yeah, he saw my shit. Cool.
No, it got awkward when I met him because I fanboy. I can't help it. Like so I'm waiting in line. I finally get up. I shake his hand.
Sit
cool
with the
about
gloves
it.
on and shit.
I didn't.
You got my X's on my gloves. Like, oh my god, Mr. C.
I did not dress up in his
all
outfit.
right.
I wasn't that bad.
I know he's perfect, but go ahead.
But we shook hands, and then he was just like, "All right, we're good." I was like, "I love you, man," and I hugged him.
Oh Jesus Christ!
and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool, all right, cool."
Yeah, that was all right. Like Punk is a cool dude. Speaking of blocking, not to segue over to football, Des Bryant just recently blocked me.
Oh man, you're just on a spree, dude. Between Des Bryant and Mike Fisher,
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Mike Fisher can suck it. If we're talking wrestling, he can do the whole DX job. Mike Fisher can totally eat me at this point. I think his shit is just, his shtick is old and tired, much like him. But when Des Bryant blocked me, it was simple. Like he went off on.
Wow.
It was when what happened?
You gotta try to get Des to block you, bruv. I'm sorry.
I mean, but that's the thing, and it was a joke. It was a funny joke, and I thought it was actually going to be received well. I forget what it was. Or what, it may have been the Brian Flores stuff that was happening, all of what his issue. Yeah. But it wasn't in that regard because I would never obviously do that, right? So he said something about Jerry Jones or Jason Garrett or somebody. Or it had to be about the Jones family because Garrett's already gone.
Yeah.
And all I said to him, I was like, man, talking like that, you're going to lose your box seats, bro.
Yeah.
And like, you're not going to have your seasons anymore, dude. If you just keep talking shit about the Jones family, they're not going to watch you there anymore. But then, bang, block. I'm like, oh, come on.
At least you're consistent.
Like Cole Beasley blocked me a long time ago. But that was, I deserved that one.
You know, I don't blame you for that. He trashed Dallas on his way out.
Yeah, but I deserved it. I was playing Madden one day, and I was in the Super Bowl, and Beasley fumbled on the one, and I went on Twitter, and I was like, well, this is as realistic as it gets.
Did you lose?
I lost. But I said, I was like, this is as realistic as it gets. Beasley cost me the game. And he's just like, yeah, okay, asshole, block. And I'm just like, all right.
Wow, Madden cost you that relationship. Awesome.
Yeah.
Marv, are we good with time? How good are we on time? All right, cool. Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. So yeah, let's get into some more Cowboy talk. So
we have to?
I mean, yeah, of course we have to. We have to. You brought me on All About the Star twice.
Yeah, All About the Star. Rest in peace.
And good looks for
Rest in peace.
It's gone?
I mean, I got no time now, man. It's like my Cowboys fix is why I still do the Jersey Boys. I'm still doing a podcast on Blogging the Boys, which is the biggest podcast or biggest podcast network for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. I'm in with them because I was in with them with Jersey Boys for a little while. And then it's me, my buddy, two writers, Tony Catalina and Aiden Davis. They're both amazing dudes, and we drive really well together. There's a trio of us. We call ourselves the First and 10 podcast because we're the first podcast that goes out in the week.
Right.
First down. Let's
first down.
Let's start it up.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing on the Cowboys front. Jersey Boys even took a little bit of a backseat. I'm just busy, man. It sucks. Dude. I want to do more shit. I want to do podcasts like this. I want to go out and market ourselves and stuff. But before you know it, we do the live show, the prep, the post, the this, the that, the third. You look up and it's 4:30. I'm like, what the fuck? I got here at 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Dude, I know the feeling.
What happened?
Again, me and my guys, shout out to my brothers at the base. I'm still an intricate part of that show, and we even cut back and we do about two or three episodes a month or whatever. But I told myself, all right, I'm gonna of course stay with my brothers. We're gonna keep doing our shows, but to get mine, I gotta start this one now because I know because everything I've done, including music, podcasting, career-wise, every time I start something and that snowball effect happens because I'm an infectious person, and like I get people involved, and before I know it, I've got a team, and now I've got deadlines and stuff.
All eyes on you
to get it
done. Yeah.
Right. So
it's not easy, man. I'm telling you. Now we even got interns doing work over at Shop, and I'm like,
you're delegating over here,
bro. But even that, I sat down for a cup of coffee for today, and then the internet went out. I was like, well, got to do this now. Like it's always something, but. Not to piggyback off the Cowboys, but yeah, I'm still talking Cowboys. You did come out. We did talk some shit. We were very cautiously optimistic about the team, and I guess rightfully so at the end of the day, right? I mean, this is what happens. We actually went to a Cowboy game together.
Yes, we did.
Me, you, and a couple other guys.
And we won.
We kicked the shit out of the Giants, as always.
The Giants. What else is new?
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's the Giants at this point. Daniel Jones, they're all a bunch of bums. But, yeah, that was fun. But I still follow the hardcore into the Cowboys. It's just like I'm trying to get as many outlets as I possibly can. But I only have I'm only one man.
You're only one man.
I'm only one man.
It's beautiful. So how do you feel about the team coming in this year? What are your feelings post draft, post free agency?
I'm in the minority here, man. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, Cooper gone, oof, Gregory gone, like Lyle Collins out the door. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like guys that are leaving town, right? And skill-wise, yeah, you lost your better right tackle. You want to throw Terrence Steele in there now? All right, I could fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, this will work. You draft, was it Tyrants? No. Tyler Smith,
yeah.
To play left guard instead of Connor Williams? Yeah. I'm with it. I'm with that because I think left guard last year.
You could have played better than Connor Williams right now.
I mean, he was a walking penalty. It was like holding.
Mr. Holt.
Right. So when we lost the lineman, I said, you know what, that's fine. We're okay. When we lost Gregory, I said, you know what, that's a hole. But we're going to be able to fill it in with multiple guys. And I saw a lot of stats comparable. Dorrance Armstrong, believe it or not, had a very comparable year to Randy Gregory. If he was the pet cat for a little while for Jerry Jones, he sure as hell he's made himself at home. The part that I'm very adamant about is that the Dallas Cowboys offense right now, on paper, is better than they were last year. The reason why I say that is there's plenty of times where it's good, and I think Amari Cooper is one of the best route runners in football, right? Agreed. He's just literally he's a joystick, right?
For sure.
I think the elimination of Cooper, the adding of Jalen Tolbert, James Washington, the emergence of Noah Brown again, I still think they add a piece, like a T.Y. Hilton, I feel. That's where I'm at with that.
I agree.
I think Dak Prescott not having to look one and look all will benefit him.
Agreed.
The whole Zeke thing, I will die on that hill. I still think Zeke's the man.
I do too.
I think that he's a different back now. He's not going to be your finesse guy. That's what Tony Pollard is. This whole offense is going to run around Kellen Moore and how he designs it, because you have to use Tony Pollard more. You just have to, and Zeke knows that.
And CD,
everybody,
and CD.
Well, by default, you're going to have to, right?
He's got no choice now.
The offense will be good. The defense will be a year better. Pass rush is everything. It makes everybody good. We don't know what the hell's going to happen with Kelvin Joseph. I don't know if the league steps in and says, "Look, you got to go for 6 because of what happened." Yeah. Whatever. I mean, they haven't suspended Deshaun Watson yet. Don't even touch my Dallas Cowboys team.
Oh my God, we're going to stay away from.
We definitely are
baby pose.
But I tell you what,
Deshaun Watson.
Chop Sports Media on YouTube. We crush him. This dude should be out of the league at this point.
This guy cut a CM Punk Max MJF promo on Deshaun Watson the other day.
He is just.
Oh my God!
Rough
you might as well just should have got on the desk, folded Indian style.
Yeah, right. And just sat there like, I got a lot on my mind. Everybody just leave the room. This is all me.
Pipe bombs over here.
Yeah, but the Cowboys, I think, are going to be all right. The division did get better. One more year under Jalen Hurts. I still don't think he's all that great, but he'll get better. He's got A.J. Brown now, so it's like, okay, they got a little more weapons. The Giants, new regime, right? I think they're still a couple years away. I think they're one more removal of Daniel Jones, replace him with somebody else eventually. Yep. I think the Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team, whatever the hell you want to call them at this point, they're okay.
Senators.
They got Carson Wentz. They got worse. Give me Tyler Heineke over Carson Wentz any day of the week. So I think the Cowboys, based on their schedule alone, just cookie cutter. 11 wins would be would be my basement. I'll stretch it to 10. Maybe
double digits,
but double-digit wins this year, and it's just all about getting over the hump. And I think that Mike McCarthy is officially coaching for his life.
He is.
There is literally a lighter underneath his ass right now.
Facts.
So it's like, by the way, we're going to dump gas on this in about week 7 because Dan Quinn will take over like that.
You're not going to go 3 seasons without one playoff win and think you're going to keep your job. He's not Jason Garrett.
He's not Jason Garrett.
He's not getting that leeway.
For whatever reason, Jason Garrett must have had nudes of Jerry Jones' wife or something.
He knew about the kid.
The fact that
he knew about the kid he had on his side.
Right. He's like, I'll tell everybody, right? And then he's like, no, you won't. I bet you won't. And then 2 years later, all of a sudden the story's getting. I'm like, son of a bitch, he had those filmed. But yeah, so I think the Cowboys will be all right. I'm not too worried. I think that the benefit to the Cowboys this year is that the NFC's kind of wide open. The Rams are bringing back the house, right? They lose parts, they gain parts, blah, blah, blah. I'm okay with it. I'm also okay with the Super Bowl hangover. Those things happen. Those things are real. Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay. No Devontae Adams. That's going to struggle a little bit. I think Kyler Murray sucks. I've always said that.
I still say that.
Yeah, little guy. He should have went the baseball route because he's not a good quarterback. The NFC is wide open right now for the Cowboys to take it, and I think the only real competition will always be the Green Bay Packers because they're going to be there.
think
the Rams are going to be up there. But I tell you right now, guaranteeing it right now. What's today? June what? 8th, 9th, 10th, whatever. The Dallas Cowboys will go into Green Bay and win.
Oh,
this year.
Drop it. Pipe bomb.
This year.
Pipe bomb.
This year. Okay, because we've been there before. We've went to Green Bay and won before. It was the rookie year for Dak and Zeke.
And
they're
we won.
They're going to roll back.
We won.
They're going to run that shit back. And they're going to do it again.
Nice.
That's my Cowboys take. How far they go?
I still say health and offensive line.
I mean, yeah, of course. That's the name of the game, man.
That's the baseline.
That's it.
If the
Stay healthy.
O-line stays healthy, Dak stays healthy, defense grows, double-digit wins.
Tyron Smith
get a tournament.
Tyron Smith is a big tree fall hard kind of guy. Like when he goes down, that offensive line hurts. It's kind of like how when Sean Lee got hurt.
Yeah,
you knew the defense was just not recover.
Went to shit every time.
I feel that way about Smith. So I think the Cowboys will be all right though.
All right. Let's begin to wind things down. Marv, how long we got? 5 minutes. All right, cool. We're gonna before we end with rapid fire, I got one more quick question. So, where do you want to take Chop Sports? You just hit 1,000 subscribers, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that's nothing that's needed. You can monetize now. Congratulations, us. Pat on the back.
It's a place to start.
Place to start, man. Chop Sports. What I want out of Chop Sports is I want to be the next big sports media company not named Barstool. Nice. Barstool obviously created their own niche in the market and in the game where it's more comedic and loose and multiple departments. Ultimately, I would love Dave Portnoy to be like, yo, you got a cool thing here. I want to buy you. All right, cool. But I want to still be the face. I'm not going anywhere, right? So, yes, when you open a business and you start a business, the end game is to always get bought. It is. I mean, that's the society we live in right now.
Little fish.
Yes.
That's
so
facts.
if a big wig comes in and says, I'll give you X amount and the price is right, then sure, we'll sell. But I'm not leaving operations. You know what I mean? Like, this is my baby. This is me and Gooch's baby. I think Chop Sports is the next big thing in sports media. I really do. Starting with our daily show every day, 11 o'clock. It's a lot of fun on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of fun. We interact. We pride ourselves in that.
Yeah,
There's a chat going on where these guys are asking constant questions or they're chiming in. We have little characters built all of a sudden. We got the Sauce, which is our resident gambler. I mean, if you haven't heard of Kyle Kerms, look him up. His net worth is ridiculous.
Nice.
Why? Because he knows how to bet sports. And he knows how to handicap and all that stuff, right? You got him. You got the Beaver. You got Scoop. You got just all these little guys that have, taken on a world of its own where all of a sudden we have our little, our little NWO, our little clique. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is awesome. We got this little niche family. And I think that's going to take over, man. We're going to... I don't want to release too much information because we did come to agreements today, but not come to agreements, just a game plan. There will be Chop Productions where there's going to be more people in and out of our studio, renting studios. Yes, Bravery does a great job, and I'm sure that this is
Bravery Studios!
Right. So,
Marv on the boards!
When I saw your website, and lo and behold, I saw the website for the first time the other day. When you sent it to me, I was like, this is badass. This is what we wanted to do, one of our elements of what we wanted to do. So you guys can have the North. We're taking the South, okay? We can work together.
Bend the knee?
Yeah, we can work together a little bit. But, yeah, man, I want to do that. We want to do gigs. We want to get into the world of covering local high school sports. High school sports don't get enough rub and burn.
No, they don't.
They don't, man. And some of these teams are fucking good.
Facts.
And I want to give back to the community. We've done community outreach. We have a barbecue. You better be coming. June the 26th.
I love. Thank you for the invite. I saw it online.
Yeah, June 26th. We have a massive party over in Island at Merrill Park. So get all your friends, email us, and tell us you're coming because we got to know how much beer to get. I mean, I get a case for myself, and then we got to get the rest.
For sure.
But Chop Sports, I think the sky's the limit, man. I really do. I think the dedication. Me and Gooch are all in.
Yeah,
I left my full-time job for this, bro.
I saw that.
I
saw that when you brought me into your place.
I was making decent money, had full benefits, had all this stuff, and I was like, this ain't life. This isn't happiness.
Big facts.
Going to work every day, hating it. Not hating it. I shouldn't say that because I loved my job.
You felt something
and I loved the people.
Missing.
But yeah, something was missing within my heart. I've had conversations, and lo and behold, my last boss, right? He's the 10% investor. See? So he knew. He knows it's in me. He knows I'm all about this stuff. He knows I'm all in, and I think Chop Sports is going to hit the ground running, man. ChopSportsMedia.com.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I brought you on as the first guest. When you brought me in last year for All About the Star, and I saw your digs, I saw your setup, I was like, this guy's going places. He's got it.
Appreciate that.
He's got everything in place, and there's no way that I was gonna start this. I had you in mind. I hadn't even had the logo designed yet. I was like, when I do set up shop with the U-Goboy podcast, I'm definitely bringing on Chop City because, you know, to mark
Chop
this.
City, I love it.
I got to get the t-shirts today.
Yeah.
I've got to have him a part of this and to
this is cool, man.
And to feature you as well. You know,
I
to my
appreciate
viewers and also so I can, some of your viewers get to meet me too. So
yeah, no, this guy's legit, man. I'm banging the weights, bro. Clanging and banging the weights to some of his music, bro. It's really good stuff. I love it.
Juice versus Sauce available on all platforms.
There it is.
So, all right, let's get it. Let's do rapid fire. Let's get up out of here. You'll plug your stuff.
Yeah, man.
All right, real quick. Rapid fire. Presented this week by Chop Sports.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I stole this from James Lipton in Inside Actors Studio.
Okay.
I switched it around because some of those questions were borderline pedo.
Okay.
We're not going to do that.
Got it.
All right, so what is your favorite word?
Chop.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
In your friend group, are you the one that always shows up late, or are you the friend that always brings all the problems, or everybody brings all their problems to?
Oh, they always bring a problem to me. Yeah.
My kind of guy. Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve right now is when you if you're talking sports and you announce the losing score first. Like they're losing 21-26, and I'm like, oh God, come on, stop it! No, do that anymore. It's horrible. Pet peeve, huge. If that's my biggest pet peeve, I'm an easygoing guy. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Correct.
I love it. Worst fear?
Drowning, but I love the water. It's weird. It's such a weird thing.
Just living on the edge.
Yeah, always.
Favorite snack?
Goldfish.
Nice. Favorite movie?
Any Given Sunday.
Nice.
Easily.
Nice,
See how easy that
nice.
was? It's number one in my book.
Celebrity crush?
Ooh, celebrity crush. Right now, is she a celebrity? If it's
Celebrity you. It doesn't.
I mean, Paige Van Zandt. I love her, man. I love her so much.
Marv like that one.
Yeah, no, she's a nice person.
All right, and I think you answered this already. Favorite wrestler of all time? Any
Shawn Michaels.
HBK.
Easy.
All right, Bret Hart's better.
Anyway,
and last but not least, what is one job you think you would be good at if you weren't doing this right now?
A real estate guy.
Nice.
Yeah, selling houses. I think I can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can sell you, boy, like ice to Eskimos type shit right there. I'm pretty good at that. I can convince you. Or like a car salesman, some kind of sales thing. I was at Enterprise, but that was just rentals and bullshit. But like right now, I could sell you a house.
What's the slogan again?
No, I mean, that's from Step Brothers. You realize that, right? Step Brothers. He's like, I did what every average American would do. I'm going to file for unemployment, or I'm going to go get a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, because they give you the tools to be your own boss. And they convinced the shit out of me that was going to happen. And then, lo and behold, I hated life.
I love it. All right, let's plug stuff away. You first.
Yeah, man.
Our guest.
Follow Chop Sports on all social medias. Chop Sports Media on Instagram, on Facebook. There's the Facebook group. Join the group and chop it up with us every day. The most important thing, if you're seeing this, the sound of my voice, or you're seeing this right now, Chop Sports Media, youtube.com/Chop Sports Media. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, watch us every day, 11 o'clock. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun chopping up a lot of sports. We give our honest opinions. We do not hold back, so there's no filter or anything like that. This isn't FS1. This isn't ESPN. This is Chop Sports. So thank you guys, and thank you, dude, for having me. This is really cool.
And I'll plug away before I bring it on home. Follow me on Instagram, U-Goboy88. Follow me on Twitter, U_Goboy. Follow me on TikTok, U-Goboy88. Follow me on YouTube, U-Goboy, as well as the home mothership, U-Goboy.com for everything. We got hats on the way. We got shirts on the way. Chop City's got this one. This is the OG one. We got the new one, and we got the new logo.
I want that one.
It's coming.
That's
it's
dope.
coming.
That's
it's coming. We
cool.
got merch on the way. On the way. We got videos on the way too, music-wise. I told you, Juice vs. Sauce is out. Jonah the Great is out, both over 100K. 5-Star Dancer is on the way. Cartier Glass is on the way. Whole Vibe is on the way. We got brand new songs this summer, more videos, and more episodes. And again, this is the inaugural debut episode. Thank you to all my followers. New followers, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to Chop Sports Media as well.
Appreciate you.
And last but not least, thank you to Bravery Studios. As always, Marv on the board. Shout out to Steve. This has been U-Goboy. That's Dave. We out. Deuces. Yahtzee.
Care about the top 10, your top 5 on who the best is. Money straight, my fam straight. I'm George straight, that's Texas. Angel wings on a Lambo. Praise the Lord, that's a blessing. Bentley truck like Lex Luger. Yeah, nigga, I'm flexing. Richard Sherman, I back it up.
U-Goboy.
Yahtzee.